Mr. Obernolte for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses. I have really enjoyed the testimony today. Ms. Kane, I'd like to start with a question for you on advanced driver assistance systems. And as we know, those ADAS systems are becoming increasingly sophisticated and increasingly critical to ensuring safety on the roads. And yet those systems, because they are so complex, require precise calibration and precise knowledge of exact vehicle geometry to be able to do what they do. So the question has arisen, what happens when one of these vehicles is damaged and needs to be repaired? What happens when a vehicle owner wants to modify a vehicle by putting aftermarket parts, for example, on it? You know, how do we ensure that these ADAS systems continue to operate the way they were intended to? So in response to that, I'm sure you're familiar with one of the bills that's a topic of our hearing today, which is a bill that I am very proud to co-lead with my colleague, Representative Harshbarger. It's H.R. 6688, the ADAS Functionality and Integrity Act. And basically what we're trying to say is that we don't want to solve this problem with mandates. Instead, we want to direct NHTSA to develop some guidelines which are grounded in empirical testing to make sure that when an ADAS-equipped vehicle is damaged and needs to be repaired, or when it's modified, that a repair shop will have something concrete that they can use to verify that the ADAS systems are still in compliance with their calibration and will still function the way they were intended. So I assume you're familiar with the bill. Are we on the right track? Is this the right approach?
You're asking all of the right questions, so we appreciate.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, we appreciate the fact that you're looking into this. I mean, there's no doubt. I'll just double click on something you said. There's no doubt that ADAS technologies are making vehicles safer, and there's also no doubt that we need to make sure that those systems continue to be properly calibrated so they continue to work. And you're right, repair is an issue, maintenance in terms of just over the life of the vehicle. You want to know that your system in year 11 is working the same as it was working in year 2, and then modification. We appreciate the thoughtfulness that's been going into this. We understand the interest in the topic. We understand trying to find a path forward. I will just share for you that just recently we did send a letter up to NHTSA. We do, on this issue specifically, we do think that NHTSA needs to convene a conversation, a dialogue, a forum between all of the various parties, the automakers, the modifiers, to discuss what a path forward looks like here. And we look forward to continuing to work with you and Representative Harshbarger on this bill.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, well, the point we're trying to make is that mandates is probably the wrong approach. And a better approach is to make sure that everyone is informed on what needs to be done when a vehicle is repaired or modified. And we think that if NHTSA develops that guidance, that that we'll be able to achieve what mandates couldn't achieve. Mr. Fulton, I'm just fascinated by your background, and I'm interested in your views on this intersection between state, local, and federal law when it comes to autonomous vehicles. And you touched on it a little bit in your testimony. You know, on the one hand, we currently live in a world where most of the vehicle standards are set at the federal level, but roadway safety standards, for example, and the rules of the road are set at the state and local levels. As you said in your testimony, the advent of AVs is blurring these lines because these systems kind of spread themselves across both of those worlds. How should we think about this in terms of preemption? I mean, are there lanes for both federal and state lawmaking here? And if so, what should be preempted and what shouldn't be?
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate that and appreciate your comments. Fundamentally, I think we're only really looking for preemption in a few key areas, narrowly scoped and that would play out over time as the Department of Transportation and National Highway Traffic Safety Administration put forth the rulemakings for the federal motor vehicle safety standards around key areas, around just the operational competencies of the vehicles, around how you create and put forth a safety case and the process for doing that. I don't think anybody's looking to have to go to Congress to change the speed limit in their neighborhood. We're not looking for anything like that. State and local authorities would still have right to regulate the rules of the road and how operations can happen around them. When we look at insurance, dealer, distributor issues, safety and emissions inspections, sale, distribution, repair and servicing requirements on vehicles, these are all done by the states and sometimes local authorities. We're not looking to change any of that. We're saying we agree on what the states and this committee have put forth on terms of how you make a safety case and what you do with it. There should be access to a federal data repository that's shared with state authorities, state DMVs, so everybody has one place to submit information on these things. We take care of the data submissions that we were talking about and have one database, one way to submit it, so that even if states agree, we're not dealing with all sorts of systems around the country. We have one place to put it, and they can access it there. So what we're talking about with preemption is very narrow, and I think this bill does a good job with that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for your testimony. I yield back.